soft.
I've been getting pretty savvy at work with the computer. That's the word that people that use computers use. I was doing cable one time and some girl said, I'm pretty savvy with computers, you don't have to worry about it, this and that. And then I got their password, or asked them, and the phone number was the password, and I said, here's the password. Like, I gotta put a password? I said, why can't you just make it what it's not? Why can't you just click onto it? I was like, you're the one that said you're computer savvy. It was real simple, it's just the password is your phone.
So, it's their way of giving you a number, right?
I was going to do it on paper, but my pastors always do this, one of my pastors. And I thought it was pretty good because I'm writing the sermon and I'm like, oh, no, I should put this right here, no, I should put this right here. The computer, you can just copy and paste, like just, you don't have to write it all over. But anyways, I was encouraging to see you guys. Like, when we came over here, I saw all these men from Oasis. That's encouraging. It's good to see that passion for the Lord. And my pastor told me, Oasis they take their retreats very serious. I said, what do you mean by that? Like, tell me a little bit more. He says, they've been practicing for like worship for like 2 months. He says, our guys we just practice an hour ahead. I think we have a good musician like here. So, respect to you guys. Another respect to Brother Jonah. I remember my name, and I still remember a couple of people's names from our church. And the person that comes to our church, I don't remember his name, but you remember his name. That's a big quality. It's a big quality because people remember that. They don't remember your name just because you remember their name. And that means a lot to people, so thank you for that, Jonah. Not other people. A couple that are here, I don't remember that. But thank you for that. That's a big quality. I wrote something that I remember. I thought about that stuff. Also, the brothers, I think David Rivera's not here, not the other David, Goliath, right? Yeah, it's my brother-in-law tells me there's another David Rivera, and his son's name is Matthew also. They told me that they go by David and Goliath. So, praise God for that, brother. I don't think he's here right now, but just bringing up his sons and the Lord. We're going to be talking about that. And I see what you guys are doing it out of love. Like it doesn't look like it's forced. You're doing it because you really feel it. And that's like God really working. So just that generational, we'll be talking about that. So just praise God for that. One more thing that's not on my computer. Oh yeah. Just I know a lot of people, they want to hear from God. And a lot of people talk about, I want to know the secret will of God for my life. Why did God choose me? I want to know why did God choose me? What's my gift? This and that. But you know what? It's not really about us. He didn't choose us because he saw something special in us. It's because of His grace. He chose us because of His love. From the foundations of the earth, He didn't see something great in you in the future. He just saw you as a sinner. Really wanted to pour His wrath out on you. It's not about us, it's about Him. So we should really try to care about His revealed will. It's in the Bible. His will is in the Bible. Worry about our fruits and this and that. We should be worried about what's revealed for His will in our life, which is His will is that we would be conformed to the likeness and the image of His Son. So if you want to know what's God's will for your life, read the 4 Gospels. See Jesus, how He lived, because He was a representation of the Father, and that's what He wants us to be, transformed to His image. We give Him the secret will, and that's for Him to know. Right now, be obedient to what He has called you to be, to the likeness of His Son. And that right there will be more fruitful than anything, because if you have humbleness, if you humility, my wife always corrects me on that. She's a school teacher, but she went to college. She always like, it's not humbleness, it's humility. She helps me. And, so show patience, We see Jesus shows patience, love, compassion, all those fruits. You don't want to just worry about one gift or one. You want to worry about all the fruits.
That's right.
In Galatians 5:22, we have the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And that's, if you want to know where, also, just start off in Hebrews chapter 1. It's a good verse to remember. Hebrews chapter 1 talked about, in past times, God spoke to our fathers and prophets directly. But in these times, these end days, God spoke to us through His Son. So you want to know, I want God directly to speak to me. It's the Bible's there. There's a meme that I put on Instagram. The guy's saying, Lord, speak to me, please, please. It's kind of funny, you see out of the clouds, the Bible. There you go, read my word. You want to know me? People are like, I don't want to read the Bible, I want you to talk directly to me. We don't want God to talk directly to us. People were scared to even see angels. Forget. People said, woe is me, I seen an angel. I should die. I hope I'm not going to die because I seen an angel. People of Israel, when they went to Mount Moriah, they heard God speaking to the people, and they begged Moses, tell God not to speak to us directly.
Don't do that.
Please, tell him to speak to you, and then you speak to us. His word is like thunder. Like, that's kind of scary. I mean, right here in California, the thunder is not so strong, but people who've been to other states, I know I've been to Mexico, the thunder is really scary. You're like, man, imagine God speaking like thunder to you. People said, please, and we'll obey everything. Just have Moses, please speak to us. And God did speak directly to Moses. They even thought he had died up there. And they even told Aaron, hey, And we don't want God to speak to us directly. It's a way of being lazy and not getting to His Word. God calls us to read into His Word daily so we can continue to grow. We come to the Lord at different times in our life. A lot of us come in late, come in at 40, 50, I don't know, different people, different age, right? So blessed are those who are raised in a Christian home. So, I want to say thank you to my pastor, Gabe, Pastor Mike. We have really great teachers. My Pastor Gabe is his major, correct me if I'm wrong, I think his major was in history, is that correct? People think that's like a weird or dumb subject or whatever. It's only by knowing your history can you learn what's being wrong and bring back to it. Our church is labeled Reformed. I don't know if you guys know that. We really take that serious. We're like blessed to have brothers who know their history, and that's what's blessed our church. Anything that the church has dealt with and has almost strayed away from the Word, there's always been people to try to bring them back to the Word all the time. In our church, they always teach their pastors, like, we reform, and we're always reforming. If there's something that we're doing that's not biblical, make sure you call us out on it, so we can reform to biblical ways. But thank God for them. I think, that's a great thing. I have my daughter. Also, I just talked to a brother recently. He was over our house recently, and that guy was a blessing. He has his kids. He's raising up in the Lord. And I saw this beautiful thing in him, and I was like, man, we're blessed to have this brother. Man, I invited him over, bro. Can you come over? I want to there's a subject I want to talk about. I want to hear, there's things that I've been looking into that I haven't really seen it anywhere. But I seen it modeled in his life, so I had to invite him over. I want to hear how he kind of ministers to his family. It was a blessing. He was so ministering to me in such a great way. And but the thing that surprised me at the end of it all, he said, he every day, his family, he raises them up in the Lord. And we're going to look at a scripture that says that. But it was surprising. He said, I'm still not being fed. I want to go to church where I'm being fed. And I'm like, man, you're in your word every day. Shouldn't you already be getting fed? You've been walking with the Lord so long. You're still looking. I pray, I see the brothers that, I know Oasis has gone through a lot. And, Pastor Al's a great teacher. We love hearing him. He's blessed by him. He's an older man. We didn't think he could speak as good as he speaks. I just judge him by his appearance. He's a good speaker. And all those brothers who hung in there and still there, God's going to bless that, because you guys are trying to seek the Lord on your own. You guys don't depend on other people to feed you. You guys are feeding yourselves and continue to stay strong. Whether the speaker is not where you want it to be. So praise these brothers who have said, you know, I need to be fed somewhere, and this thing feed me. I'm not trying to put other brothers down, but just congratulating you guys for continuing to serve the Lord through the trials and continuing to seek the Lord. That's a beautiful thing.
Amen. Amen.
I know you guys have been going through a lot. Subject, bearing the cross and the forgotten teaching. We will, I promise you guys, I will get to that at the end. I will, because I don't want to try to talk about it in video. I want to look at 3 C's. I wish I was good in my pastor with PowerPoints. I will get better. He's good on PowerPoints. You know, Greg always has little catchy phrases, right? I thought about it. Sometimes it's good, you know, sometimes you remember that stuff. So I try to look for things that started with the C. Just 3 C's right here. Command, the current distractions, and the cost. So we're going to talk about the first one, which is the command. If you guys have your Bibles, please open up to Deuteronomy chapter 6, 4. But it's not in Paulo, right? 6, 4. Chapter 6, 4 through 9. That's the best way I remember it. If I think of it in Paulo, it's the beautiful scripture to remember. Every Jewish kid, this is one of the first things that they have to learn as a Jewish. It's called the Shema. You guys know about that? It comes from this scripture. That's one of the first things. Shema Israel. Yeah, it's a cool song. It's good learning the song because it's cool. I heard it in my Spanish church. The pastor used to sing it. It's good. And let me know if you guys there. I'm here on pages 50. Okay. Also, I'm assuming you guys are there.
Amen.
In the Old Testament, I'm making a statement before I read. In the Old Testament, we see God telling His people how they are to leave their homes. Deuteronomy 6, 4 through 9 says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one. Love the Lord your God with all of your heart, and with all of your soul, and with all of your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be in your hearts." This is important right here. "Impress them upon your children. Talk to them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. Tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on your door frames of your house and on your gates."
Amen. Amen. Yes.
Have you ever been around Jewish people or a Jewish home? They have a little thing they put at their door. Yeah. And they use, too bad that they now use it as like Catholics, like a little cross. I went and bought one because I was looking into this a couple of years back, and I was working in LA at a Jewish community. I went to the store. They very historically, biblically, right? Some stuff. So she told me, buy this. You know, it has a Jewish scripture in Hebrew. It has real paper that was made with hemp, best paper. You know, that scripture used to write. It's a very expensive paper. It's in Hebrew. You can put it in there. I gave it to my wife as a little gift. And she was like, "Well, I want this." But it's like, she's a Christian, so I was like, I tell her the value of it. She's like, "Oh, okay, cool." Give some beat earphone or something. And she told the Jewish people told me at the store, she says, "Yeah, just put it at your door and rub it when you walk out. It's like good luck." You know, so basically, it's like Mexicans say, you know, do it across before you get on the freeway and you're good, right? You see all Hispanics, Catholics do that, right? It's kind of, that's the way they take it. But I like where it really comes from here. It really comes from like, put it on your door frames. Put it, you know, where you can see it. Put it on your gates. Basically, God's saying, put it everywhere. Don't ever forget about it. Put it, you know, anywhere you can. You know, I think really this good, right? You have a little thing in your kitchen, and you're like, I want scriptures there every morning, right? It's a good thing. I don't think it looks nice, but it's the purpose. His wife was like, "It gets me to tell him to take it off." I was like, "Hey, I don't like the way it looks, but he's trying to follow the Bible, and that's good. I like that."
That's right.
So, you know, like, the Jewish people took this to an extreme where they actually tied it around their hand. Jesus criticizes them for that. It's like, the thing called phylacteries, they made them bigger, like foreheads, and on their arm, you know, they're like, I want you to like, I'm spiritual, look how big my phylactery is. Phylactery was a little box where they kept the scripture inside. You know, and it said this scripture right there. They didn't ever open it and read it. They kind of already knew it by heart. But why have it in there? You can't even see it, right? It was meant to. The word should be in your heart, written upon your heart. Keep it in your mind, think about it. It's not to put it right here, you know. It's like, come on, bro. So Jesus criticized them. He's like, come on, are you trying to look spiritual? Or you just put them bigger on purpose? Just to like, come on, be spiritual for real. Don't just try to impress people, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, but this is the command that God, the Shema, if you really look at it, look at it in Google, you guys got phones now. Look at what it means. It means the command. And it also means to obey. Command to obey. I always wonder, because we sang it at church, you know. Shema Israel, Shema.
Do it, brother.
I'm sick right now, brother. I thought Steve was going to speak, so I have a little cough drop in my ass. Brother, if I cough drop, because I'm coughing. Psalm 78 says, I will utter hidden things from old, things we have heard and known, things of our ancestors have told us. We will not hide them from their descendants. We will tell them to the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of our Lord, his power and the wonders he has done. He decreed statutes of Jacob and established the law of Israel, which commanded our ancestors to teach their children, and to the next generation will know them, even the children yet to be born, and they in turn would tell their children. Then they would put their trust in the Lord and would not forget his deeds, and he would keep his commands. I'm trying to show how God commanded his people to always teach their kids. Teach them what are their ancestors. Pass it on. Don't just, you know. And I know a lot of us that came to the Lord later in life. We didn't have this passed on to us. The Jewish people did have that. They try to see this is what the Lord, this is the command. This is the first C, right? Like this is one of the commands that God has for his people. And recently, I skipped it. I just realized right now that I didn't read something. And I wanted to say that recently, like, I thank God for going to Sovereign Grace. I've learned a lot of like very important truths there, thanks to these brothers. But recently, God put on our pastor's heart, before we moved to a certain location, he said, hey, I want to show you guys something. Pastor Gabe is very known for wanting to show you a video in the middle, like you're doing something, long videos. We were playing basketball yesterday. He's like, look at the video. Like, come on, look at the video. My wife's like, he's going to show me another video. There was a video, and the council was there like, oh, come on, another video. That video was great, man. This video was called, what is it called again? Divided. It was showing how what the church today now has, a lot of the problems that Christianity is suffering today is that we have depended, or we have put the trust of teaching our kids to everyone else except ourselves. At school, we don't want to homeschool, and that's, people have different situations. You trust them 8 hours with teachers, right, that are unbelievers. Then you get home, you're so busy with your own life, right? Then you get to church and you send them to a kid who barely is new to the Lord, is passionate for the Lord. Give them a youth group, right? And really, our call is to talk about, like, once they turn 18 and youth group is done, some churches have college courses or whatever college is. Once they say, okay, you're an adult now, you should come with the adults in worship. They're like, oh, I don't really know any of the people. I feel weird, you know. Like some of the students have fallen away from the Lord. A lot of people when they were turning 18 were falling away from the Lord. He was telling them to say, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to go with this? Do you guys want to bring our kids into the worship? I know we're not used to this culture. If we're bringing our kids, there's going to be a lot of crying. Do you want to keep nursery, youth group, and all that? We're starting a new church, a new building. Do you want to just bring the kids and everybody worship together as corporate worship? You know, in Catholic Church, there's no crying, even though they don't have little kids stuff. You know, they don't have a nursery. All the kids, your parents teach you when you go there. I don't want you to run and go to the restroom. I don't want you crying. They find a way. If the kid's crying, they don't just let them cry. They walk out real quick. Probably pinch him or ask Catholics, they'll tell you, my mom just a pinch me. Watch when I get home. You just start to watch. Kids knew to respect. Something you should be teaching the kids, baby. Hey, you don't give up on it. Hey, you respect the house of God. All that starts with us teaching them at home every day. We teach them to worship at home. We teach them to stand when they worship. We teach our family to, not just be lazy. Oh, we're doing home worship. We gotta sit on the couch. No, at church, stand. When it comes to the Word, reading the Word of God, stand for it. Give it honor. Teaching all that stuff. You start training the kid up in the ways of the Lord at home. But what is we see Paul talk about going down this. We see him in verses, sorry guys, in Titus chapter 1, verses 5 through 9. You guys want to write this down? I'll lead your families. Titus chapter 1, verses 5 through 9 says, verse 5 says, you fix this. He writes to Timothy. He says, the reason I left you in Crete, Timothy, was that you might put in order what was left unfinished, and appoint elders in every town, as I directed you. An elder must be blameless, faithful to his wife, a man whose children believe and are not open to charge of being disobedient. Since an overseer manages God's household, he must be blameless, not overbearing, not quick-tempered, not given to drunkenness, not violent, not pursuing dishonest gain. Rather, he must be hospitable, one who loves what is good, and with self-control, upright, holy, and disciplined. He must hold firmly to the trustworthy message, and as it has been taught, so he can encourage others by sound doctrine and refute those who oppose it. We see that in biblical times, I'm saying that wrong, don't sound like that. In these times, the apostles were alive, they said, for a person to be an elder at the church, he had to be blameless before the community. He had to manage his house well. Now today, people choose elders. We don't ask their wives or their kids how they are at home, right? We just choose them like, that brother's on fire. Choose him, That brother gets really excited when he prays, let's get him. Let's bring him in. But we should look at these scriptures. It talks about how does he run his home? How he runs his home should be a quality or something we look for. There should be an elder. How well he runs his home. Because how we run our homes are the nursery of our future society. Whatever's going to happen in the future is based on how we raise them. No matter if you raise them wrong, that's our future. Right? The Westminster Short Catechism, the first statement of truth is, the man's chief end is what? God has called every man. What's good at every man? There's men on here. God has called every man to shepherd his home every day. For the family, I said, is the nursery and the future of our society. Scroll down here. I know that we like to depend on our pastors to teach our kids. I know we like to depend on our youth teacher so that we don't have to do that stuff. But we are called to do that. And many people say, well, I didn't go to seminary. I don't really know how to read the Bible, or I don't really understand the Bible. A lot of the Gentiles, they had never read the Bible. God, but they read the scriptures. Like, it's an excuse we use so that we don't have to get in the Word.
There it is.
You know,
That's right.
it's we should all be reading. The Bible does it have things that sometimes are kind of hard to understand? Peter said it. Paul says things that are kind of hard to understand. So there are some parts, but it's beautiful when you understand it. You know, there's different genres in the Bible. There's poetry, there's history, there's different stuff. So it's, you know, it's good, but we're not gonna ever begin to know it if we don't read it and just say, nah. It's really sometimes because we have other things that we want to do more. When you take a role like this on, the family will show you their rejection right away because nobody likes their time being taken. Not your kids, not your wife. Nobody likes that. Not even me. And my wife told me, stop watching the Laker game because we're gonna, you know, have Bible study at 7. I wouldn't like that. But our wives are not called to lead the home. The husbands are. To lead the family as men, we have to be the first ones to die. That's the cross.
That's right. Yes.
You know, I think it's Galatians 2:20 that says, I am jointly crucified with Christ. For I am, you know, it is no longer me that liveth, but Christ that liveth in me. And we like to say, you know, like, you know, I'm dead to the flesh, or I died, or I've given my life over to Christ. We use all those words, but really, have we been crucified? You know, and that's a strong scripture. Like, I am jointly crucified with Christ. We look around in our culture, Christian culture now. A lot of people are not crucified. A lot of people are still well alive, living their lives and their passion. When God calls a man, He calls him to die to all his passions. He will say, no. You can still have your passions. You can follow Christ, and that's the problem with our culture today. And that's not very popular. So I'm going to try to defend it biblically. And it's one of the main reasons that we're experiencing a lot of just a lot of lives that don't have fruit. A lot of lives, like, a lot of Christians are bored at church. A lot of people don't feel like they ever bring somebody to church with them. A lot of people don't feel like when somebody asks them something about the Lord, they don't know what to respond. That they're like, man, I remember when I first came to the Lord, I had it, you know. I knew what to say. My brother once told me, he says, man, when I was walking with the Lord closely, there's one thing that I really missed about. He says, I remember I used to talk to people at school. And I would look at them when I was talking to them, like when I was reading the Word. And like, one of the main things I miss, and it may sound selfish or whatever, but it's true. It says, you can see you're really speaking into somebody's life. Like, you can see, like, God is just breaking them down. Like, they're almost wanting to cry in front of you, you know? Like, they don't care who's looking because God is speaking to their lives.
That's right.
Like, when you're really seeking the Lord daily, you're really getting into His Word, and you have to lead your family today, you may have to get up early that day.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I have to get up every day at 3 o'clock, and I have to leave my house at 4 to be in LAX every day. And I leave over there at 3, and I get home around 6:30, and we have family worship and discipleship at home at 7 o'clock. So my daughter has a curfew to be at home at 7. And it's I have to read in my lunch. I have to go hurry up, run, get some lunch, come back. I have to have something that I'm being blessed with to give to my family. And when I get home, my wife's cooking. You know, sometimes I want to help her because, you know, so I help her sometimes. Probably because I like to put certain seasoning in it. Like, hey, come on, we talk more of this on it. You know, so usually I jump in when I'm already done. I didn't take a long lunch or something. But, you know, it takes a lot. But I had to die to my TV shows. I was a big-time Lakers fan. You know, people say, oh, it's easy to give up the Lakers because Kobe retired. They don't play as good anymore. I like the Lakers so much that I like watching them play. They're young players, you know. Like, I don't care if they lose, I just want to see them compete. And they compete every night. So I like watching them play. And, you know, I scroll through my Instagram or Facebook when I carpool with a guy sometimes I scroll through my stuff and I see the highlights and man, they did good tonight, you know, even if they lost. But you know, you gotta die to that. Like when I get home, I can't watch any of that. Like, I have more important things to do.
That's right.
You know, and that's leave my family. You know, I'm glad I came from the streets. I was never into sports, so you can say that's easy for you. I was never into sports. I was into girls, so I didn't want to be after school with pure guys. I wanted to be looking for girls. I didn't really like that. I didn't like coming home at 7 o'clock. And it was easy for me not to like sports, but I started working with a guy and he was very passionate about the NBA. He told me every night about it. He actually got me hooked because of his passion for it. So that's how I ended up. It was hard for me to, I got addicted to it. And when the summer came around, I wanted to learn how to play basketball, at least to like, I guess have a basketball mentality. I ended up liking all the teams. Like, you know, I like the Lakers, but I like every. He would always tell me this: the Lakers are gonna play this team. They have this, you know, they have the Twin Towers. They have David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Like, explain to me, and I'm like, oh, this guy's good. Rasheed Wallace is gonna come to the Lakers. Who's Rasheed? This guy. You know, he told me what he loved about him. It made me like him. Anyways, you know, like I had to die to a lot of things, but so I started picking up some idols along the way as I started serving the Lord. You know, sometimes I'd stay home for, you know, DVRs came out, so that was helpful, right? Just recording, come back. I want to talk about a couple of distractions that we get. We all would say that you have time, bro. I don't have a lot of time. My daughter says, you don't spend enough time with me. I said, I wish I had. You know, we all complain about time. I gotta make time for you. You know, pay more attention to your wife more than me. So feel convicted about that, you know. So pray for me on that. But we all make time for the things we love. All of us. We all have time. You know, like my wife would before tell me, you don't have time for me, but when your friends come over and knock on the door to go play basketball, you used to have a basketball court in the front yard. I like, oh, I'll make some time. We all make time for the things we love. So I know that a lot of us work from 20 to 50 hours a week at work. So it already cuts a lot of time. And that's understandable. We have bills to pay, and as Christians, we should pay our debts, right? Understand that there's some people that have their wives or themselves do not know how to control themselves with money. And they're living way out of their means, and they should not be living way out of their means. Sometimes people have no time. And probably God's calling them, like if you are too busy, then probably you're too busy. Yeah. You know, I don't know if you guys heard that before. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, probably you have to cut some things in your life. Probably you need to downsize on certain things. Probably you need to sell certain of your hobby things that take all of your time. Or I don't know. I know a lot of us run errands, especially with our kids. You know, for some people that take soccer practice, ballerina practices, karate classes, whatever. You know, we all want our kids to make it, be professional one day. You know, be rich. You know, we all kind of want them to make that choice, but you know, this God called us to raise our kids to be athletes. It's good to be healthy, but does this world need another basketball player? We have a lot of them. God didn't raise you to teach your kid to be a basketball player. I want to teach my kid that, but is that what God has called me to do? You know, and what God needs is another man to be obedient to His word, to change the world. That's what we are called to raise our kids, for Him to take on the responsibility greater than the presidents. Change the world, not just change our country. I was pretty encouraged by a guy who works in the House of Representatives. I don't know if it's the word I'm thinking about, but his name's Trey Gowdy. I don't know if you guys know about him. He's a guy with integrity. He says, you know, like people shouldn't be trying to raise their kids to be pastors. They should be trying to make them, raise them to change the world, you know? You don't want to just be pastor, you want to be, like, you know, you want to not just as limited, have integrity in everything you do. So you may one day be a governor, you may change the city, raise your kids to excel in everything they touch. That's how a Christian should be. A Christian should, everything he touches, he should excel in. For we have the Lord, you know? So, like, you know, like, just, I want to phrase it, I want to continue, I want to repeat that and say, this world does not need another athlete. It needs another person to just say, I want to serve the Lord. Amen. We have obviously, technology, our phones now, you know. It's a lot of our time. These are type phones. They do everything. You know, like, younger kids don't know what an encyclopedia is. That's Google now, you know.
That's right.
They don't know, like, our parents used to pay like $1,000 to buy having an encyclopedia, nobody even reads it. So the kids could do homework, right? People don't even care about encyclopedias anymore. You sell them yard sale for like $1, still people don't buy them. They have a flashlight that guide me in my little place right here. I mean, they have how to fix your car. You can look at a video, you know. People say, you know, everything they put on YouTube is fake. Like, how do I fix your car? It has so much things in there. I mean, it has instant banking. Like, when my bank card doesn't go through, I'm at the supermarket, I was like, give me a second, let me transfer some money from the state. You have to run to the bank anymore, just transfer it. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it has calendars, watch, alarm. We don't even need alarms anymore. Sometimes alarms go off, the electricity goes out, you ready to work. But your phones will never go out. They're on charge. You have voicemail there. You don't need no more recording like in a long time. You know, you record by the phone connected to the, I mean, we have everything. We can watch any movie that you don't have, just watch it on there, right? You have all your photo albums, nobody even prints them anymore. All your photo albums we want something that has a lot of gigabytes so you can have all your family photos there, right? Yeah. I mean, it's amazing what these phones do. I mean, not to mention, you know, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You know, we can keep up with all our latest family drama, right? And all their kids seeing your nephews growing up across the country. I see them every day. I see you guys. Thank you for posting this picture. I can see my little cousins growing up. You know, everybody. I mean, you don't even have no boring moments anymore. You can go to DMV, beat them, don't care if it's like 100 people in front of you because you can watch stuff all day, right? You don't have to be in the clinic. You're not bored no more at the clinic. I mean, it's just the hospital, and you don't even have to be bored at the toilet anymore. I put my pants up before, if I noticed, I left my phone in the bedroom, put my pants up, went, came back. I wanted to do my time valuable. This is where I learned stuff. But my wife says, why do you take so long in the restroom? I said, he's in the restroom all the time. See, you know, at home, your wife's watching The Bachelor, The Voice, all these shows, all these reality shows, right? The husband's watching all the sports. Kids are on FaceTime or Facebook in their room. Everybody's doing their own thing.
That's right.
There's no more eating together. There's no more family time. I try to apply that. I'm trying to do this thing at home where when we get home and we're together, our electronics in the kitchen area. As we all go to sleep, you can grab your electronics. Because then we all are isolated doing our own things. I let them watch TV when I'm not there. I mean, not when I'm not there, when I'm still sometimes studying or doing whatever. My wife likes to watch the home improvements, homes and stuff. A lot of people are addicted to that right now. It's easy to sit down and have a construction background, so I like the way they did that. But, so a lot of us, that's why we're living ineffective Christian lives. Because we have not paid the cost of what it costs to be a Christian. That's why your people who work with you are not offended by you sometimes. Jesus' brothers wanted to mock him. His brothers wanted to mock him and said, "What are you doing down here? Why don't you go up to the city? Ain't you trying to be famous? Go up there where you can see. Ain't you trying to be famous? Go up there where everybody's at." He was going to go there. You know they wanted to kill him. He says, "It is not my time yet. You guys can go up there." Because basically you guys mean nothing to them. You guys are basically, you don't offend nobody. Nobody cares if you guys are. But when I go, there's a big scene.
That's right.
Because I'm light. And I put light on their sin and they hate me. If everybody around you likes you, probably you're not living a true Christian life. I'm not saying you're supposed to go around making everybody hate you. You are to question, why does everybody like you? Probably because you're being silent and don't ever tell them that there is sin and the wrath of God is upon you. They don't know it out. Probably you're not praying for your coworkers and saying, "Lord, soften their hearts. Give me words, open the door." You know what? As you start seeking the Lord daily, really seeking the Lord daily, God, from the abundance of your heart, speak them out. Rudy Lister, when he came to our church, he exposes. It's really cool. We always refer back to Rudy Lister. And it's in the scripture. It's in the Bibles of Jesus' words. He opened our eyes to that. He says, a lot of people come and say, "You can't judge his heart, brother. You don't know what's in his heart." Rudy told us, "Hey, bro, what does the scripture say?" He says, "Sit with the man for 5 minutes and hear what he talks about."
That's right.
That's the abundance of his heart. So even talk about his favorite team. That's the abundance of what he loves in his heart. Sit with them. See what they talk about. Sit with people. Jesus Christ sometimes is not what's in the abundance of their heart. That's why we don't ever really have anything to share with them. Because we're so passionate about so much things in this life. But we are not that passionate. Jesus Christ is just one of our loves in our lives, not the ultimate love.
But he's the main love.
I'm trying to raise my family. This is what my household looks like. My wife is a PE teacher. Blessed her. She has a summer off. That's beautiful. She has every holiday off. She basically doesn't have to take any day off. That's cool. That's really. It's like I kind of don't even want to tell her to leave her job. It's kind of cool, and I'm thankful for that. I don't think she has a big debt, so she has to pay off for that. So she has a great job, but I still want to teach her to lead other women. The Bible says, "Let the older woman teach the younger woman how to love their husbands." That's what the woman should be doing.
That's right.
My daughter, I tell her, you know what? In this culture, men are raising their daughters to be like men.
That's it.
Go get a career so you can make a lot of money. That's not a woman's job. You shouldn't be raising your kids to do that. Or just in case that your marriage doesn't work out, that's why you should be teaching your kids to marry a believer.
That's right.
Not somebody who's going to probably leave them. You should be like, seek a person who loves the Lord, who wants to excel. But no, let's raise them to be like men to support their homes. Women should be, this day, women are not valuing womanhood. They want to be men. That's why we see all these women in the march, right?
Yeah.
Marching. Well, we should be treated as men. Why don't we just send them all to the army then? Why don't we send them to change the wheel on the freeway then, right? And we chill in the car. Why when we hear a noise, we don't say, "Here's, go out, I'm going to stay asleep." Go in front of the road. Why don't you go get my phone? I left in my car. It's kind of cold out there. I'll chill. Because we know they're weaker vessels, right?
There you go.
And because we know our role as men. We should train up our families in the ways of the Lord.
That's right.
We should know our place, and it's our responsibility. Our men, we don't want to be real men. We want other people to be our men. We want our pastor to be the man of all our lives. I want you to teach our kids, figure out something, how you're going to train up our kids at our church. if I'm going through something, problems, like you need to be there, but that's our job. It's our, we're called to be a royal priesthood.
That's right.
We are to be the priests in our homes, the shepherds, the pastors. We're supposed to set the goals, how we read the Bible, our goals, how we respect the Lord, how we honor and fear Him. That's our job. Every day we see how that's being accomplished. We set the goals. Where do you want to be a year from now? With, you know, this brother who I was hanging out with, he says, my wife homeschools my son. We have an 18-year plan. We're supposed to read these books and these books. He says, I hand my 17-year-old boy, he needs to read 75 books every year. He homeschools. Of course, some of it's part of his subject, but there's things that they're not going to teach him at home. So I teach him, I give him a book on body language, I give him a book on how to respect people. He has to read it as part of his grade at home. Things that they won't teach you at home, how to manage your money. They don't teach you that at schools.
That's right.
And he said, when I was younger, my dad told me, the day you become a man, I'll come and shake your hand. He's just impressive. I never heard this. He said, there was just something in their family. He says, I'm going to shake your hand. I'm not going to take son and say, you're a man now. He said that his son told his wife, I can't wait till my dad tells me he shakes my hand. He says, you know, it's cool to hear how every different people disciple their homes. We have like 3 families in our church that do that. And we have like 2. And they might not stay there. And I told him, bro, if you don't stay here, I understand to a certain extent. You know, I felt times that I wanted to leave. You know what I was encouraged by our leadership? They said, you know what, why don't you be part of the change? Why do you want to run somewhere where somebody else does something for you? Stay here and be part of the change. You're part of the council. You're able to make change.
That's right.
You know, you're not just a member, you're part of the council. You know, so he's right. And you know, we have a great pastor who tells us, why do you think he calls us and we have meetings like, how do you guys think things are going? What do you guys see? What are some things? Not a lot of pastors do that. So thank God for the pastor. The word Christian, Jesus Christ, some people still have a mistake to think that Christ was his last name, right? Jesus Christ. To ask kids now, Jesus Christ is his last name. Christ means Messiah. Messiah means the anointed one. The anointed ones means like, what happens when kings and prophets were chosen for God? They were anointed.
That's right. Set
apart for a special purpose. And they were set apart for a special purpose. Those were the anointed ones. We have the title of, we're not called Jesuits, we're called Christians. We're called to be set apart. Anointed ones. Be set apart for God's purposes. We are called with a special purpose. But yeah, we want to be like the world. We want to be like, I want to raise my kid the way everybody else raises their kids. And we kill our own time. Our wives, not my wife, but see, a lot of wives are running back and forth. What is my kid? I don't want to tell my kid, pass on what I want to do. I don't want to pass on to him what I want him to be. What do you like, son? Well, I want to try soccer. I want to try this. I want to try that. As soon as they find out they're not as good, you just spend all your money on this expensive gear, right?
Yeah.
We don't need that. Our wives are stressed. Gotta pick up this kid, gotta move this kid. We can never train up the kid in the ways of the Lord like that. That's not our call. We have the highest call.
That's right.
About to be done. Some people say you're putting burdens on us that Christ did not put on us. All these scriptures I read to you about how people were raising their families, according to the biblical standards. It's not a burden. Some people thank God that Jesus Christ didn't come to put burdens on us. But Jesus says, take my yoke. It's a weight, for my yoke is light. Compared to serving Satan, the possibility of going to jail and being, hurt and your whole life destroyed, us. Like you hear a lot today that church isn't fun or Christianity isn't boring, or it's not about boring or fun. Fun is thinking about us, like what's fun for me. We don't think about the devil, cross. Just think about what is right and holy. I'm gonna take my kid to a church that's fun. We're gonna take them to a church that teaches you how to be separate. We need pastors to tell our people we're called to be set apart. But we must first die. We must first die to ourselves. So I promised you guys I would bring you back to the cross. Number one, I'm going to share three things. Why do we follow? Why do we love people like Kobe, Floyd Mayweather, Bruce Lee? Why do we love people like that? I asked myself that question. Am I in love with Kobe Bryant or something? Am I gay? I don't even think about that. Why do I like this guy so much? I thought about it deeply. And said, you know what? Because he does what he does with a passion. His love and his mind is undivided.
That's right.
He's at the gym before everybody. He leaves the gym. Why do people love Floyd Mayweather? Because he does one thing and he does it great. Why did us growing up love Bruce Lee? Because he beat up 20 people at the same time. That's all he did. He was the best at what he did. He was the best at what he did. He was a pastor that used to be a really great pastor. My pastor said, I don't know why he left pastoring. He's really great at that. He left to go train kids karate. I don't know why he would do that. He was a really great teacher. We downsize, or what we have, just forget that. Arnold Schwarzenegger this month. Pastor likes lifting weights, so he always gives us Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes. I heard him say this one time that a guy came up to him and said, I don't want to be as big as you. And Arnold Schwarzenegger told him, it's all right, bro. He said, he didn't say bro. He said, you'll never be like me. Don't worry, you'll never be as big as me. He thought he was offending him. He was just saying, you will never have the passion that I have for this. It's rare, What I have, that's what I do. That's what I eat. That's what I breathe. Jesus Christ said, he said, I have other food you guys don't know about. There's a spiritual thing that we get blessed in. There's better than food that satisfies us better than food. It's doing the will of God. His disciples said, has anybody brought him food? He hasn't ate all day. Why is he over here talking to a Samaritan? And he said, hey, have you ate? And he's like, I have other food you guys don't know about. He was witnessing to her. All the Samaritans came. It's just... And the last thing I want to leave you guys with. I'll put two examples in there. This guy almost got me into football. I was surprised. I'm talking about passion. This guy said when the Steelers had their bus, he told me, you know what? He said, you know what I love about my team, the Steelers? He said, what is that? He was a big time fan. He says, what I like about the Steelers is that everybody knows what we're gonna do, and we don't care if we do it. We're gonna take it down the middle. We don't care. I'm like, man, I think I want to be a Steelers fan. I like Palomalo too. I did it, and I thank God I didn't get into football. I see so much people too passionate about it. And I don't want to divide my heart with football. But that's three. The last thing I want to leave you guys with, this is it. Beethoven. He played one time the greatest at a concert. He said, some kid went up to him after he played. And he said, I would give my life to play like you. I would give it all to play like you. He says, well, you know what? That's what it took me. To be great at what I do, I had to give my life. If you want to be an effective Christian and reach the world, you got to start off at home. And you got you start at home, you're going to feed yourself every day because your family is expecting you to feed them. And now you're called to lead your home. You're going to feed yourself. There's no time for I'm playing around with sin. I feel weak. or like, I'm struggling. You don't have time to struggle. It's in the Word. I see a song, like, get the Word in you. You want to get rid of sin, fill yourself up with the Word. So, just want to leave you guys with that. That's why our American culture today is American Christian culture today is struggling and living ineffective lives, because not just do we want God, but we want all these items. We want everything plus God, but we should really be having an undivided heart. I think Paul says your minds are divided, but our minds, we should love God with all of our